This is podcast 31 in the Learn Piano in Your Car series. I'm Carol Brotherston. I've been a teacher for 25 plus years, and I have noticed with people who want to learn piano that the key to it is carving out time to practice and not believing the myth that you can learn in 3 minutes, which some of the videos on YouTube would have you believe. However, it does depend what you want to learn. If you just want to copy something on an app, then maybe you could learn to do that in 3 minutes. I'm not talking to those people though. There's a place for that. What I am talking about is learning piano properly. And if you think about graded examinations, in ABRSM, Associated Board of the Royal School of Music, up to grade 8, taking a child through the process, grade 1 to grade 8, you don't have to do all the grades. You can skip some. Sometimes it's possible to jump a little bit. But in my experience, on average, it would take a committed person fully between 5 and 8 years to get up to grade 8 from scratch. And that's committed. That's, practicing it regularly, building up all of the skills. It's not just reading from sheet music that you do when you learn to play properly. You're learning a good technique. You're sitting correctly at the piano. You are understanding rhythm. You are learning about theory. You're practicing skills in arpeggios. You're embedding good sight reading. There's a lot of different parts to learning to play properly. You can't just pick up a method book and work from A to Z and only use the material in the method book unless it contains scales and arpeggios, sight reading and the whole package. If you're with a one-to-one teacher learning properly, the teacher will bring all of these elements into the curriculum for you. So what can you do to help yourself? Well, you need to carve out time. If you want to learn properly, you need a window of time every day, ideally, to practice. And that can be 5 or 10 minutes. That's actually all it would take, is to carve out that time. You need to get into a regular habit. That's probably the hardest part of starting to do anything, actually, isn't it? If you're starting to go at the gym, or what else would you be doing? Anything that you've started new, an art class, even if you've gone to guitar lessons or even piano lessons, or anything that you've done, getting into the habit of doing it. And it can take, I think experts say, is it not 8 weeks or something to get into, to consolidate a habit. So first of all, when you start piano, you need to think, where in my day can I fit 5 to 10 minutes in? And the biggest blockage is actually in your head. If you don't make time for it in your day, don't identify the time in your day when you're going to do it, you won't do it. It's likely that you won't do it. You'll start every day and you'll think, right, I need to practice it sometime today, but sometime doesn't happen. So tomorrow you get up, you do the same thing. I need to practice sometime today. It doesn't happen. The third day you start to beat yourself up, and that just gets worse and worse, and you may never start. But in all reality, 5 to 10 minute practice a day is nothing. So all you need to do is think about, where can you fit that in? So it could be get up 10 minutes earlier. It could be, what's the biggest stealer of our time? For a lot of us, it's our phones. Okay, so just give yourself a set time. You can look at your phone for 5 minutes. After you've done the important things on it, go practice. It could be practice after lunch. It could be practice in your lunch break. It could be as soon as the kids have gone to bed. It could be after you've taken the dog for a walk, when you take a coffee break. Come on, it's only 5 or 10 minutes. But the biggest thing you'll be doing for yourself is carving out and planning that time. When you get up in the morning, you know at 2 o'clock you're practicing piano. And come hell or high water, make sure you do that in the early days to get it embedded. It won't be a problem later on because you'll get some wins, you'll start to see progress, you'll begin to develop and you'll begin to enjoy it. And then it's self-perpetuating. But to start with, it's not going to happen by accident. It's not going to happen just because you want to do it. You have to have more than want to do it. You need to plan to do it. There's that old saying, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. Okay? Plans need tangible elements to them. With your piano, you need a tangible time that you're doing it or something that triggers it, like a coffee break, a lunch break, once the kids have gone to bed, whatever that is for you. It'll be different for all of us. And if you're really struggling, think about it a little bit further. How much time do we waste? And procrastination is the killer of dreams. And then we beat ourselves up as well. There's a whole load of negative things that happen in our heads. But to succeed, to start with, you need a habit, but you need to put effort into getting that habit started. Okay, my friends, I think that's wise advice for today. And I've got personal experience of this, not with piano, because I went to lessons as a child and it's never been a problem practicing. I don't even remember making a habit of it. But there's other things in my life that I have had to make a habit of. Going to the gym, getting up early. I used to lie in bed quite late. I was never a morning person. I went to bed late and I got up late. And over the last 4 or 5 years, I have got up earlier and earlier. So once I started, my first goal was to go swimming in the morning. So I set my alarm clock, I think about 7 o'clock, which I thought that's acceptable. And I struggled to get up at 7, but I did it and I forced myself and I did it. I started swimming 3 times a week. Over the last few years, I've built that up to, I was getting up just an extra 10 minutes earlier. So from 7 o'clock, then I started 10 to 7 and then 20 to 7 and 6:30. And I've gradually got earlier. I've done it in steps. Now I get up at 5:30. But if I'd originally started at 5:30, there's absolutely no way. I would have been setting myself up to fail. You need to set yourself realistic targets that are going to tie in with you, and you know yourself best. I now get up at 5:30 and I swim 5 times a week, and I've now added to that some treadmill as well. So you build a habit on a habit, set yourself a realistic goal to start with, and if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you're going to learn piano, you need to do it intentionally. That's the key, intentionally. Okay, that's all for today. If you have any questions, remember to email them to me at info@themusicroom.org.uk. I'd love to answer them on this podcast. Bye for now. Have a great day.